Too Cool at the Pocket Plaza is certainly an interesting narrative. I'm quite keen to watch some more Polly Pocket films because even though I had a lot of Polly Pockets growing up, and I'm talking about this was when Polly Pocket was actually small enough to fit in your pocket, and I never really saw any of the films or anything, so I'm keen to watch more, and I decided to check out Too Cool at the Pocket Plaza. My first thought is I hate the fact that it's the number 2. It makes sense because there are 2 Pollys. There isn't, but I'll explain that in a moment. But at the same time, I just absolutely hate it. But the film itself is okay. It's released in 2005, directed by Bill Moore and written by Erin Ehrlich. And we have a voice cast including Tegan Moss, Ashleigh Ball, Brittney Wilson, Chiara Zanni, and many, many more. The voice acting is really great. No complaints there. The animation quality is fine. I don't love the animation style, but it's not too bad. It's the narrative that I thought was maybe a little bit more bizarre than I expected, because Polly's family is opening up a new hotel. She's inviting all of her friends. Unfortunately, the mean girl from school is wanting to sabotage it because she worries that it will make Polly even more popular. And what I didn't like about this, and I don't know if this is the normal approach for other Polly Pocket films, but this character pointed out that Polly Pocket was already the most popular girl in school. And I don't like that, because when you have a protagonist, it's really important to make them relatable to the viewer. And that's why most protagonists are not the most popular girl in school, unless, for example, it's dealing with a story where people are maybe making fun of them for being popular or something like that. But to present a character who seems to have it all, who's the most popular, it's not very relatable for the average viewer, and I don't think it worked very well. So that's not something I liked. And then things happen at the hotel that just seem a little bit far-fetched for me. But the 2 bit in the title refers to the fact that we have Polly and her basically identical cousin. They look pretty similar. There are differences, their hair is slightly different colour and things, but in general, they do look quite similar, to the point where we have some element of mistaken identity in this, which I thought was interesting. That, I think, worked quite well. I was quite keen to see what would happen with that. So there were bits of the narrative that I thought were okay, but in general, I didn't love it. I didn't think it was that great. It's a little bit too unrealistic. And I'm not saying it has to be completely believable, but I feel like it was just a bit too over the top. And with Polly basically being everything and having everything, there's not really an element of relatability for the average user or the average viewer. So I didn't really like this one at all. And not just because I'm beyond the target audience age, because I love fun animations, even if they're not necessarily aimed at my age group. I tend to still love them, but this one, unfortunately, just didn't work. There were too many problems with it. The colour palette is quite nice. As I said, the animation style is not completely my favourite, but the colour palette isn't too bad. However, it's not enough to save it for me. I didn't care for it. It hasn't put me off other Polly Pocket films. I will definitely be watching more. I think I have at least one more in my to-watch list so far. But if you have any that you want to recommend, please feel free to do so. I will be keen to check them out. But for now, I didn't love Too Cool at the Pocket Plaza. And generally, unless you're a huge Polly Pocket fan and you just haven't seen this for any reason, I don't really recommend it.